Sup shredders, my name is Logan, aka Spiderhands, and welcome to SP Reviews, where today we're going to be checking out an album as part of our 100,000 subscriber special, an album by Chou titled Fantasy. Before we get into this, first of all, thank you for everyone for your support on the channel so far, on this Billy channel. I really appreciate it. It was a month, 30 days before we hit that special number. Cannot believe it. It's been a wild ride, hasn't it? I want to first of all just talk about a couple of things that are really important for this review that will be different from the first album review I did, the one that basically started the channel and got things rolling. First of all, I've gotten someone to do the translations for this. A very special friend of mine. I'll put their name here as I'm not sure how they want me to credit them at the moment. But they've done the translations for this video, as well as the rest of the parts of this Chou series. And I'm also hoping that they'll continue to do a few different translations per week for different videos beyond this. I've also got someone else doing translations on the other videos that come up on the channel. So we're finally going to have better subtitles for these videos, which is really cool. The second thing I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be splitting these up into smaller parts. So you'll see here that this video will be below 20 minutes. This was deliberate. It was so that I could make sure that, we could have these cut into bite-sized bits so that people can enjoy the review without having to commit too much time to it. As one of the bigger complaints that I got about the original Chou review was that it was just too long to watch one video. So it'll be split into smaller videos. I have listened to you. Thank you. So that's translations, and then that's the smaller videos. The third thing is that I'm going to be watching the music videos for each of these tracks where applicable. Hopefully this will be good. I didn't realize there were so many different music videos for these songs, but here we go. This is the world we live in. So we're going to be watching 10 songs. We're going to be listening through them from start till finish. We think we're going to split over here where the first track of the Fantasy album is titled Chou Love Before BC. I do also have translations for each of these 5 songs. So each of these 10 songs, I'm doing 5 now, and I'm going to review the other 5 tomorrow, just so I don't have to do the whole entire review at once, as I tend to run out of energy and it kind of sucks, Better to do 2 halves and make sure I'm at the prime, especially considering what this video is for. So again, listen to these tracks from start till finish. Hear what we think. Let's go. I'm just going to check something really, really quickly. Cool. Can't believe this was released 20 years ago. Okay, we've got a guitar, some chorus on it, some very active drums. It's crazy to think that he was one of the pioneers of this genre. It's fantastic to listen to him. I do recognize his tonality from the first album. And vocal harmonies here, layered vocals. Cool. We got a bridge here. A little bit more tension in the harmony, some interesting dissonant notes there to express perhaps a change in emotion or a change in the tone of the lyrics. There's a louder, sorry, not necessarily a louder, but there's a bigger overall sound to this vocal part. I'm very happy with how it's coming across. It's great to listen to this vocalist who clearly has a good control of his voice and knows how to use his vocal cords for the benefit of the music and his overall performance. It's a very raw performance. I think there's not a lot of modulation being applied to Jay Chou's vocals here. It sounds like he's just singing into a mic. Maybe again there's been some double tracking going on. He's still very young here, isn't he? Was that a key change in the middle of the song like that? Was there a transition that I didn't recognize in the first verse? Was it the same, or have I just been bamboozled? It's starting with that minor. Starting with that minor tonality here again. Yeah, it's great. Hang on. Okay, so let's talk about what happened there. There's a little bit of extra oomph in that part there. Again, I'm not going to do him justice as a singer, but just that little extra run there at the end of that bridge there is a great way to spice things up a little bit and keep things fresh going into a chorus that I assume is potentially going to be repeated. I haven't really commented on the music video much, primarily because I try to avoid talking about the music videos. This is mainly for your benefit, you watching this, just because I know that people were asking for music videos so they had something interesting to watch alongside the commentary. Yeah, he sounds like he's getting very, very into his top of his throat. It sounds like he's having to strain a little bit for some of those notes there, which is a little bit worrying to me. But at the same time, I don't think he's singing badly. It's just that's very high to very high in his vocal range before he has to go into that falsetto. See how he goes a lot higher with that falsetto? That's just the limit. He understands the limit of where he can raise his singing voice before he has to go falsetto like that, and I think that's a clever thing. And again, a key change. I mean, I'm not sure what the song is about. Even if I was paying attention to the music video, I have no clue what it's about. Is that woman supposed to be a goddess or something like that? Looks like it's an Egyptian tomb or something like that. And that's his footsteps. And that appears to be the end of the song. Love Before BC. Right, oh, I get it. Love Before BC, right. That's why, because it was back in the pyramid days. Right, I understand that. I get the reference. Okay, so, you know, we had some guitars. We had a bass in there. We had some drums. We had similar types of vocal patterns and sequences that we had in the first album. This is a very singly single. It's one that I think is meant to sort of ease people into the album. You know, get them ready for the ride, refamiliarize them with how Jay Chou sings. It's reasonably catchy, you know. I think that it sits well. And I think that it's, you know, if you have an album within this genre and you try anything too crazy or wild, it's going to confuse or potentially alienate people. So I think this was a sensible idea for a first track. It was reminiscent of a lot of the 90s pop that I listened to growing up. It didn't sound generic though. It sounded like Jay really cared about the song that he was singing, and I've got a lot of love for that. We have got the famous website here that I think I used in my first lot of reviews, Love Before BC. I'm going to try and keep these lyric parts shorter just so that the video isn't 2 hours long, you know? Because the album itself is 40 minutes. Okay, so they're talking about Babylon and ancient civilizations. More than 3,700 years have passed since you're in front of the closet. I'm still quiet around your face, which I love so much. So the love that he has for this person is time immortal. It's basically so deep and so huge that it cannot possibly have come from a recent time. It's needed to come from, it's like he's always known this person and always loved this person. That's how, like they were destined to be together. That's my understanding of what this track is about. Now, I know as well that there are going to be things that Jay Chou says in this review, in this album, that I might not necessarily understand just because of the lyrics that are being provided to me. I get that that may be frustrating for you. I just don't know the language. So I'm doing my best with what I've been provided with. I don't know what love before the Western dollar means. I'm not entirely sure what that means there. I think that is that a yeah, this is kind of these lyrics, these translations are not great. The passage becomes a poem, never decays. All right, so my best guess about what Love Before BC is about is that it's about a person loves another person like a woman, I'm guessing, because there was a woman in the video. And that love is immortal, as I mentioned before, and it will, like, they are destined to be together since the dawn of time, basically. That's my best guess of it. Hopefully that is somewhat close. If it's not, I apologize, but that's as much as I can get from this. I'm not sure what the deep buried in the United States part is, but yeah, there's bits like the handwriting on the mudboard is clear. Sacrifice of the temple of God. Yeah, this is a tricky one. This is a tricky one. I'm assuming he had to sacrifice things in order to be with this person. So we're going to go with that. That is my understanding of this song. The first song off the Fantasy album. We've got Dad, I'm Home, which is number 2. Okay, this is very different to the first track, isn't it? Okay, we got a cello and drums. And a guitar there? Okay, and that's really cool. We've got things happening at first in the middle of the stereo field and on the right. And then suddenly that additional bit layer to the harmony comes in on the left side. There's a fantastic amount of dynamic range to this recording. Okay, and I haven't really spoken about Jay Chou singing or rapping. I suppose part of that is simply because I'm still very familiar with his work from the first album I listened through, so for me to repeat those points, I mean, it's important for me to do so because I have to treat this like a separate review, but at the same time, yeah, it's very clear and straightforward. The words are coming through clearly. He's got a great sort of flow with the drum kit and the rest of the other instruments, and it's a separate rhythm to the other instruments, which allows it to stand out further. He's a little bit quicker though this time around. Okay. Nice vibrato. It's nice to have this change from the rapping in the verse to the chorus with the clean vocals and the vibrato on the tails of those lines. I dig it. I'm interested to know what the song is about. This is very different to the first song, Love Before BC. Lots of marbles. The verse sounds like he's speaking in a very matter-of-fact manner, as if he knows things and maybe he's struggled with them, but he's just accepting that this is a reality now, and the chorus sounds like he's calling out for help. Oh, we got some brass there. I'm wondering how they recorded that there. That's very interesting how that was done. He almost sounds angry and frustrated within this, but he's so gentle with his delivery as well. There's no grit to his vocals. There's no gruffness to it. He's calm and collected, but at the same time, you can tell there's something going on underneath the surface. Okay, and we've got the trumpet parts coming in as an addition to this chorus line. Cool. Three-note bass line. Cool, we've got call and response. It was cool to have the rapping with the clean parts, everything coming together like that. That was well done. Good job. Good job, Jay. I almost feel like Jay is being more conservative with this album than the first one. Like, this is him working with the parts that I think people appreciated and respected from the first album and trying to do more of that. You know, the music production, the recording, mixing and mastering is pretty spot on. It was a very interesting tone to those brass instruments there. I'm wondering, I know I asked this before and I've repeated this a few times. I'm wondering if they used like real brass instruments there, or if they used like some samples or something. But you know, the technology in 2001 wasn't that fantastic. It must have been a recording. There's no way you could have really gotten any electronic sounds like that back in 2001. The technology wasn't really there at the time. So that's cool. A very unique tone to that part of the song. And yeah, it was great to hear Jay's range with his rapping and his sort of clean vocals. And then we had the overdubs as well as the backing parts. And yeah, I'm not quite sure how to interpret the song at face value. So let's have a listen to the lyrics. I heard that usually after a war there would be peace and exchange. Why do I still see my dad keep hitting my mum? Well, this is very clear and blatant, isn't it? It's about abuse. If I had one pair of wings, two pairs of wings, he'd just run away. Yeah. It's just about, I mean, I'm not trying to understate it. It sounds incredibly horrendous, and I understand the video now. The song's about the abuse from his father because of his alcoholism. And that tonality, I knew that there was crying out happening in the chorus, and I knew that the anger was obviously justified. Since I was young, you told me to learn from you, put you as my model. So many delusions. Mum always said, be good, listen to your dad. That's the screwed up part. Is that often the people that are abused are made to think that they deserve it. And then they try and justify it, because why else would someone treat them that badly if they love them? And he remembers back to how things used to be when they were better, but apparently that's just a made up. It's just a reality. It's a fantasy. I'm wondering that song before Love Before BC, if he was fantasizing about a love with like someone being eternal like that. And he's also fantasizing about a reality that's better than the one he has with the way that his dad treated him and his mom. I'm really sorry to hear that Jay went through this. I think that's basically the summation of the lyrics. I can relate to a lot of this stuff because I'm not going to go into it here, but I understand how it feels to have an abusive person in my life, and it's horrendous.